Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And good Saturday morning to all of you out there. Welcome to another installment of 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and interact with us wherever you may be tuning in on this particular Saturday in October. It's the 11th day of October, the year 2025. He is the coach, Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. Did you get much rest? I know you were up watching that 15-inning marathon that transpired in the Pacific Northwest with the Seattle Mariners and the Detroit Tigers, as Jorge Polanco was the hero. Longest winner-take-all playoff game in baseball history. Imagine if it started at like 10 or 11 Eastern at night. That thing would probably have ended about 5 minutes ago.
Good morning, dear sir. The coach greets all. I didn't know there was any more baseball left. Didn't the Yankees lose?
They did.
Okay, so I thought baseball was over for all 10 purposes. I missed it. 15 innings. Wow. Who won? Yeah. Seattle?
Seattle won, yes.
All right, let's pray hard there's not a Seattle-Milwaukee World Series because it will be the least.
Why would you care? You just said you thought baseball was over when the Yankees ended. So why would it matter to you if you want to just dismiss every other team?
Well, I think there's a few baseball people left from my calculations.
Oh, okay.
1,600 people still watching baseball. But with the Yankees losing, there's no joy in Mudville. Baseball, for all intents and purposes, over. The best team in baseball, out the door because they can't hit with runners in scoring position.
If they were the best team in baseball.
Somebody take Devin Williams. Please take Devin Williams. We'll take a 29th round pick for him. Get him out of here.
You just complained about hitting with runners in scoring position. Devin Williams is a pitcher. And if they're the best team in baseball, they'd still be playing. So they're not the best team in baseball.
They're the best team overall.
I'm using your words. That's what you said.
No, they are the best.
That's what you said. Yes, it is what you said. When we rewind the tape.
And they picked one game.
They lost 3 games. They didn't lose one game. They lost 3. So once again, choose your words carefully. They lost 3 games.
Umpiring sucked behind the plate. That's another thing because the Yankees.
Oh, so the umpires is why they gave up 8,422 runs in the first 2 games in Canada.
Now, calculations, that's impossible to give up that many runs. They gave up 24.
Oh, that's close enough.
So, anyways, baseball, for all intent purposes, is over. We can now concentrate on football. And that's not going too well either in terms of pro picks. So that leaves me with, let's get going with basketball. Bruce Pearl. I think it's over. Bruce Pearl only on week 5 can declare victory. The process is over. He has won.
Okay. 4-game lead over you. Yeah. Not too promising right now in your world.
Just absolutely terrible.
Prognosticating. Well, would you like to go over the high school football results and scores to get us rolling here?
Yeah, I understand. A great game in the river, between the rivers. Great game. Something over 500 yards combined by the youngsters at quarterback. One big upset that I think we both got wrong. And there was some extracurricular activity in that game, which was ridiculous.
Big upset that we both got wrong in the Southeastern or another district?
Well, Indian River winning, I picked Nansemond. I think you picked Nansemond.
I picked
but
Nansemond.
It's not, to me, it's not a major upset anywhere. Norcom over Churchton, I didn't see happening. No, I didn't see it.
Didn't see it. Well, that's a different district.
Yeah, so I think you're okay.
Hopping around. You just want to go through the scores, or you want to go district through district here?
No, let's do district. I like things in an orderly manner.
I don't know. You're hopping all over the place, so it's hard to gauge these days.
Well, we got a lot of listeners with dyslexia type listening, so we kind of give them hodgepodge here and there on everything.
A hodgepodge. There you go. Are you able to spell hodgepodge?
H and a P in there somewhere.
The whole word, not just like picking letters out of a hat.
Oh, hodgepodge is easy.
Okay. All right. Well, that was one of our hats hits on the X or the Twitter, as you see it. What an entertaining game or entertaining show Indian River and Nansemond River gave us with the Braves prevailing 31-25 in OT as they got it done. Serious Class 5 power ratings, which we'll get into the implications in just a bit for those two in that particular game. Had a little bit of everything. And we're not talking about just the yardage from those quarterbacks that you just referenced, Ed. This game combined had 26 flags for 248 yards. More penalties thrown than when Ed Young breaks into a place he shouldn't late at night and they're throwing penalties. That's the popo. The police do that. And you had a combined 6 turnovers, 3 on each side, but Tyrell Grant Jr., the Syracuse commit, and the freshman Lord Malik Heru, who we'll hear from in just a little bit, they get it done with major numbers. You see that on the screen there. 89 yards rushing and a couple of scores. Grant had a couple of TD runs. Heru had 53 yards rushing. And Heru spreads the ball to 5 different receivers on his game-tying drive, going about 70, 80 yards as Indian River is able to win it in the overtime session, 31-25 over the Warriors of the Nansemond River. No longer unbeaten, and that leaves us, as we say good morning to our pal Woodrow out there, that leaves us, Ed, with just 2 undefeated teams in the Hampton Roads. The question is, can you name them?
Green Run.
It's 1.
Kings Fork hasn't played Smith yet.
Yes, they did. They lost. Nice job by you. Yeah,
you're out.
Nice job of paying attention by you. Good work you're putting in over there.
I can't remember things from 2-3 weeks ago.
I know. It's that.
House is undefeated. Wow, no, it's not Maury. Definitely not Maury. Phoebus not undefeated anymore.
Maury lost his first game of the year.
So
it's not Phoebus. They had their 51-game winning streak snapped by Warwick, and they got pummeled by Highland Springs before responding on Thursday night, which we can touch on against the Bethel Bruins.
Yeah, well, so that was easy to pick.
Wasn't for me. I took the flyer on Bethel, got it wrong.
You took Bethel?
I took Bethel, and Bethel was in that game. It was deadlocked early. They stayed within a score on 2 different occasions, but they had 2 empty trips in the red zone as they fell victim to the Phoebus Phantoms in that game on Thursday night by a count of 34-21. And the difference maker in that game ended up being, since now we're going to hit on it, Tyree Diggs, his running of the football in the second half. In addition to having Maricus Banks back, the junior ODU commit at quarterback. And I say ODU commit, he's only a junior, but Tony Elliott, the coach from UVA, was on the sidelines. Perhaps was he watching one Maricus Banks trying to make him flip? I'm not starting any rumors, starting any stories. I'm just saying. And I'm not just saying like the Ohio State quarterback whose last name is saying. But Tyree Diggs, 22 rushes for $174 and 2 tutties. Most of that damage coming after halftime with 14 carries for 148 yards and 2 scores in that one. And Woody says that Bethel running back Amari Pryor is pretty good. He is, Woody, no question about it, headed to Hampton University to play his college football. But the Phoebus defense, which had been gashed for more than 300 yards on the ground in its previous 2 games, which they lost to both Warwick and Highland Springs, did a relatively nice job in keeping Pryor, area's top rusher with close to 1,200, in check. Only 68 yards on 20 attempts, no scores. And that's the big deal because he came in with 22 touchdowns in his first, 5 or 6 games. So they kept him out of the end zone. And that was why, in a big way, Phoebus was able to win that game by a couple of touchdowns. So, yeah. But going back to the undefeated, we can touch on that in a moment, which we glossed over there just for a second there. No, 1 is Green Run. And yet again, you are disrespecting a team in the district that you now coach. That's the Bay Rivers, who you continue to skim over. And you couldn't name a player on that team if we tried to give you $100 for it.
Derek Brown is on that team.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Not on that team.
Islander.
No, he's not. Yes. Show me Derek Brown on Poquoson because you're dead wrong.
Bring the roster up. I'll show you.
I'll pull it up. Would you like to see it right now since you want to be a smart guy today?
Bring it up.
We'll bring it up. There's no Derek Brown. No Derek Brown. See, he does this every week, folks. He just makes up a name like John Smith or a very generic name.
John Smith
out of hot water.
Yeah, that's
There's no John Smith on that team. There's no John Smith. Matter of fact, since you want to play that game this early in the morning on 757 Cova Sports TV, 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV, we will share the screen for you and show you the Poquoson roster. Since I was prepared for this nonsense from him. Braden Agnes, you'll see him on the roster. This roster is not listed numerically. I don't know who did this roster. That person needs to.
No, that's the mistake I had right there, there.
No, there's no John. What was the name you said? I don't see that name you said moments ago.
Phillips. Is there a Phillips? I said Phillips.
Is there a Phillips? I don't see a Phillips.
No. Whoa,
Ryland Phillips. Yeah, freshman. You knew the freshman, huh? You knew Ryland Phillips, huh? That's the one you knew.
That kid's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, and your next door neighbors with his cousin or aunt or uncle, right? Isn't that right? Yeah.
I don't even know my next door neighbor.
He's exactly right. You don't.
Phillips. I knew I'd get one of them right. Phillips.
Phoebus had 8 starters injured before the Highland Springs game. They were beat up, banged up, no question about it, Woody. Maricus Banks being one of those, the quarterback, and Makai Hill, who had a gorgeous touchdown catch. It was like a slant and go. You saw it live, I don't know if you were still there at the time, Woody. I watched it on the Media Network, Hampton Media Network stream on the YouTube. Like our show is streaming on the YouTube. But it does make a difference when they are healthier, and they are now healthier, are the Phantoms. They have the big one coming up with the Hampton Crappers. But 2 unbeatens left. One is Green Run, and one is Poquoson. But your thoughts in general, I don't know what your thoughts are, because, again, you're trying to make up names for Poquoson at this particular time.
Phillips is there. There's no makeup. He's there. Freshman kid.
Why would that name stand out when you could be talking about Braden Agnes and the job he's doing on defense? Carter Jones, one of the nation's top recruits from the class of 2027.
I like that Jones kid.
Keegan Webb, the new quarterback. They got Cody Little, who's a two-way force running the ball and playing linebacker. And then don't forget about one James Miller. That could have been the generic name you picked out of a hat. And I forgot about James Miller. Yeah. I have a doctor named James Miller.
I forgot about James Miller.
Yeah.
He was one of my preseason.
He could have gone that direction. No, he wasn't one of your preseason picks. 5 INTs, I think, on the year coming in. But or you could talk about the Indian River Nansemond. Again, we have a couple of interviews from that.
Poquoson still has to play Lafayette, correct?
No, they don't. They just beat them 10-7 in overtime. Okay. Where are you today? Is this Ed Young or an imposter? They just beat them 10-7 in overtime a few weeks ago. Not even 3 weeks ago. That game was back on September the 26th. So that was literally 2 weeks ago.
That's what I'm saying. 2 weeks ago is tough to bring back.
What are you saying? You just said they didn't play. Haven't played yet.
Right. I know. I said, have they played them yet? And it was a 10-7 win for them, so they have played them. So my question is,
what is your question?
Who goes undefeated? Both? Who will lose first, Poquoson or Green Run?
Well, I don't know that either one of them will lose, but in terms of the remaining opponents for the two teams, Poquoson has War Hill next week at Warner, at Bruton after the bye week on Halloween, your favorite holiday, and November 7th, they play host to the Smithfield Packers. We shouldn't make you have to go out there and shake hands with every Poquoson human being that you've disrespected on this program.
No, my last name ain't Sparks.
Sparks? Oh, I see what you did there. Beach District, aren't you a funny guy? Green Run plays host to Bayside next week. Then they host First Colonial. They're off on Halloween, so they can go trick-or-treating. One of your favorite activities to do. And then November the 7th, they travel to Ocean Lakes. So War Hill, Bayside, do they have a shot to knock either one of them off? You're probably going to say less than 50%. I won't dispute that with you. Bayside is a little intriguing for Green Run because they are averaging 8.6 yards per carry, if that means anything. Which, I mean, if you run the ball every play. You're getting a first down every 2 plays, 8.6 yards per carry. Now, you're going to do that against Green Run's defense? Probably not. So, yeah.
It's going to be interesting. I would just say that Green Run has the greater chance of losing a regular season game. And I'm looking at that base side. But Cosin.
What about in the YPI? What's the YPI saying?
YPI probably has them both going undefeated, I would say.
Yeah, we'd love to know what the Young Power Index percentage has for either one of them going undefeated. What's the percentage?
I would say it's probably 98% of both go undefeated regular season.
98%. I'm amazed the YPI has that.
Well, I don't really do a lot with that. I've got some constituents that handle that, and they use my name. But I would say I could see that happening. But I still say Bayside is the best of all of them to beat Green Run. If I'm picking a team out of the Bay Rivers, of course, I would hope my Smithfield Packers would do it. But probably, I'm just wondering, maybe War Hill. I don't know. I think Pocosin goes unblemished regular season.
Unblemished, okay.
The Bull Islanders, one of the best nicknames in the area. Bull Islanders.
It is. What's your favorite nickname? You got one?
Packers.
Cheeseheads. You like the Cheeseheads, huh?
Well, the younger version of Packers. The blue and black. Green Bay Packers, no. Hidden fact, when I was a small youngster starting out liking sports, for 1 year, my favorite football team was the Green Bay Packers until they played the Oakland Raiders in Super Bowl II, beating the Raiders, and I switched teams to the Raiders.
So you decided to root for losers. You like losers, huh?
Well, they got cheated in that game. I remember.
They got cheated. Every time your team loses, they got cheated.
No. You have to be observant to see little things where a certain call can go the wrong way. You remember back then.
That nugget that Woody just passed on, watching us this morning.
Island in the Indian language. Okay, well, I like that. Woody is our resident historian. He keeps up on everything.
Wait, you've removed Lynn Burke of that title. By the way, Lynn Burke, if he's watching, I'm sure he'll be watching later. Lynn's book on the history of high school football in Hampton Roads, he may not want me to say it. I'm going to say it anyway, though. He's going to let us know. I'm sure he'll come on about it. Is almost ready for purchase. I think he's going to have it on Amazon. So we're going to have more to talk about that. But he has done diligent work the last several years on this since his retirement, and occasionally chipping in with some items for us at Virginia Press. But his retirement from the Daily Press and the newspaper, he's got that book ready to roll here soon. And by the way, I also learned from Woody, because Hampton's getting ready to play Phoebus in a big showdown. But he informed me that Glen Allen is 17th in the nation academically rated. And because Glen Allen is the only team to beat Hampton so far this year. So it's fair to say they outsmarted the Crappers in that game. But
you could say that.
But that's a big showdown coming up on Thursday. We'll get your take on which game you think is better a little bit later on this week. We also have some college football to tackle, and we will try to make pro picks. We emphasize try because the try is a lot. There you go. That's right. We appreciate you doing that, Woody. The try is the emphasis because unless you're Bruce right now, who was undefeated last week, and how he was, I don't know. Talk about cheating. I think Bruce cheated. I hate to insinuate that about a good friend of ours who is a great guy and an honest soul. How anybody could go undefeated in this league right now, the way
and in fact, last week
Bruce should have bought a lottery ticket. Is what he should have done.
Yeah, because the group that I'm in and picking all the games, I got 5 right. 5. And
you got that many right? I don't even know I got that many right.
I got 5. There's so many upsets, and it's just ridiculous. But to Woody, my comment to Woody about the academic status of schools, being a teacher, that interests me a lot. What do they base it on? I would think there'd be some other schools up higher out of the state of Virginia. I'm wondering what company did it, what went in to do it. And
it's your duty. It is your duty. It is your duty and obligation, because you're now contractually obligated and must fulfill your duties since you're getting paid so handsomely for now to be the basketball coach to help elevate the higher learning of the Smithfield Packers and put them on the map nationally. It is now your objective to do that. As a basketball coach, you have to show them that learning is power. You have to build that up.
I get all that, but we have too many kids that were like you when you walk the halls of Kempsville High.
Well,
waiting for lunch to start.
Then you make sure that doesn't occur. You enforce your power, your authority on the situation to prohibit hall walking.
You started a trend that's hard. Really hard to do.
I started that trend. I think that trend of hall walking happened well before I was born and will take place well after I'm gone, which could be in the next 10, 15 minutes at the rate we're going.
Yeah, you started the trend. We call it the Hatfield curse, where their favorite class is lunch and they got a B in that, not even an A.
Oh, look at that. Thomas Jefferson of Alexandria up there. I think he's at Fairfax, but up there is number one nationally in terms of the academic smarts. How about that? There you go.
I could see it.
Book smart.
From Northern Virginia
book
being
smarts.
Yeah, I can see that.
We'll have to educate us on the list in Hampton Roads. Who do you think is number one in Hampton Roads? And you're going to say Smithfield, of course. That's where I'm at now. I have to go for the Packers. I know you're going to say that.
I wonder if that would be.
I would think Cox High School. Go ahead.
Somebody from the beach. I would think. Yeah, I would put a little bit of money on Cox for the area.
Don't put money on it, please. Please don't do that. We don't want you to go broke or.
Well, it's academics. It's not sports. It's academics.
But
we want the children to do their best in the classroom.
Well, you have money to put. Guys like me that are broke. We don't. So. Interesting.
I'm operating right now on a substitute pay, and my coach's pay. I was telling the kids the other day. I don't know how we were talking about pay and whatever. I get one of my youngsters is thinking about being a coach someday, and I told him, I don't know. I said I make $4,000.
Does that look like a guy that makes $4,000, ladies and gents? Look at that. As you've been described by other media outlets, a snazzy dresser. I don't see that. Snazzy dressers don't have that kind of dough. Look at that, folks.
Well, that was back when I was making teacher money, which was $28,000 a year.
No, I think that picture was taken last March from Bob Lanham, so I don't think that's quite. I think you would already retire from teaching at that point.
They asked me about coaches' pay, and I told them, my pay right now for Smithfield High is $4,000 total for the year before taxes. And they thought it was $4,000 a week. I said, I wish, but it isn't. It's $4,000 for the year. When you divide the hours that coaches put in, it comes out to about 27 or 37 cents an hour. Okay. Nobody, listening or not listening, would work for 37 cents an hour. But we don't do it for the money.
Stick around. We've got more coming your way, including what went down in Portsmouth, and you'll hear from a couple of happy fellas in Chesapeake. Indian River coach Brandon Carr and Lord Malik Heru. You're watching 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV, and now this from those that help make it possible.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better. And it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
At Rush Soccer, our love of the game and the community we create doesn't stop when we leave the pitch or when the season ends. We are more than an individual player, team, club, or league. We are a truly global community of athletes, parents, coaches, professionals, and fans. We believe that youth sports and the pathway to a lifelong love of soccer have the power to form deep, meaningful connections that will fundamentally shape our players and those in our community. We believe that what we feel is the key to what we can achieve. Feel the pride. Feel the confidence. Feel the legacy. Feel the connection. Feel the trust. Feel the acceptance. Feel the purpose. Feel the difference. Feel the rush.
At Atomic Wings, we prioritize real chicken with fresh, all-natural, never frozen ingredients, all packed with serious flavor. Order from over 15 awesome flavors at atomicwings.com.
Elijah Boggs.
Touchdown, Indian River.
All right, I'm here with an exhausted yet relieved Indian River head football coach, Brandon Carr. His team wins an overtime thriller 31-25 in the Battle of the Rivers. His Braves turning back Nansemond River. What can you say about your freshman quarterback, Lord Malik Heru, who's walking this way right now, Coach? 26 of 40 for 249 yards, 5 touchdown passes, the game winner to Elijah Boggs. He's a freshman, but he's pretty special too, isn't he?
Yeah. I talked about it all week long. His preparation allows him to play the game calm and collective. And I think that's what we saw here in the second half. He was unrattled. He's like, hey, give us opportunity, and he took charge of it. But like I said all week, this kid prepares Monday through Friday, watches the film, and that's what allows him to play calm.
And it takes a whole group, the whole village, if you will, in sync. He hits 5 different receivers on that game-tying drive. Your offensive line did a good job giving him time. And really in a game where there was a lot of penalties, it was sloppy but exciting. How pleased were you to see your guys kind of rise to the occasion in that moment where it's kind of chips on the line, if you will?
All across the board. I mean, the team is young. The team is young. We're playing some young guys, and they all rose to the occasion. Like, they all showed some perseverance. They all showed the ability to stick together and play through adversity. So that is phenomenal to see with a young group like this and their growth here in mid-season.
Also, to have that 4th and 2 stop, I believe it was Corey Sandlin who made it for you on defense. How big was that? Because they got you the ball back and gave you a chance here when they were trying to salt their way running the clock out.
Oh, yeah, that was a kid that he said to us, at no point take me out of this game. Offensive line, defensive line, he said, do not.
Because he was the one hurling that play too, right?
Yes, but he laid out there, might have been a little beat up, bruised up, but he gave this team everything he had tonight. Sure. So when you got a guy like that, Star Wolf in the middle, hey, just going to make this defense and this team go.
Well, it reminds you of your younger days when you played for the Bruins, right? You're not taking me out of this type of battle, right? SEB, a lot of bragging rights.
Oh yeah, back in the day, 7 overtimes with Hickory. I remember those days. So
you had a 7 overtime with Hickory?
Yeah, with Hickory. My senior year. So it's the Southeastern District. Sure. You can go through some battles. There is no cakewalk.
two more before I chat with your quarterback here. Tell me about Jason Preston. He had some big plays tonight, the interception, the overtime, 2 touchdowns on fades in the first half. Another guy that's a senior, unheralded, but my goodness, he makes winning plays, doesn't he?
Yes, Jason Preston, senior. He is taking his opportunity to showcase his ability, and he's rising to the occasion. Some balls came his way he didn't come down with. Some balls came his way he came down with. But it's a next play mentality,
sure.
And I'm happy to see him play that way tonight.
In a game where these two quarterbacks, yours is a freshman, the one going to Syracuse is a senior, and Tyrell Grant for them throw for over 500 yards and 7 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. You win it in overtime. What's this type of win do for your group as you move forward here and get closer to the playoffs?
You're just talking about playing some tough football. You're talking about, hey, being able to persevere, adjust to adversity, stick together. This is a playoff atmosphere. So when we get into November, shouldn't be rattled. We should learn from these mistakes tonight. Was it perfect? No, but it was a lot of lessons in the night to prepare us for down the line.
We'll go enjoy it. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
So you heard from Brandon Carr of the victorious Indian River Braves, 31-25 over Nansemond River in overtime. It is 757 Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. Braves now 5-1 on the campaign. Edward, big win over Nansemond River, who won last year's game 28-21.
Yeah, and I think I picked that same type of score, but I had Nansemond winning this one again. And it is big. I like the fact that he talked to youngster about how well he studies his craft, works on it, film work every day. For any high school football kid, that's admirable, but especially a freshman. And I wish more kids would hear that kind of stuff in any sport. The more you and the buzz phrase we hear is work on your craft. Now, I guess we picked that up from pros or whatever. But if you really put attention into it, because see, my belief in a lot of kids nowadays, they have so many other things, the electronic world now, the computers, their PS5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it is, their phones, that they don't really put a lot of work and effort into other than what you kind of make them do in their craft. And those that really do put the time and effort into it, really work at it, I guess that's why you call them elite.
I guess that's why you call them elite. Yeah, I think that separates the great from the good. Yell Easton chiming in. LT, I think he's talking about Lake Taylor, on pace to have 2 running backs. I believe he's talking about number 5, Keon Johnson, and Jeremiah Farabee, as well as their quarterback, Kevin Adams, go for over 1,000 yards rushing. How about that? They're running the football over there at Twin Veer. Hank Sawyer.
I was just going to say, when Hank runs, what he runs and believes in works. But let's also give some kudos to that offensive line. So if they're opening holes, you're going to be able to pick up a lot of yards too. So, we got to shout out those linemen for Lake Taylor also in terms of allowing 3 guys to go over 1,000 yards. That's doggone good.
That's a big deal. No question about it. Bill Walcott chiming in. Yeah, too bad about. Let's hit on that since we're going to hit on the districts here. But that's the story of unfortunately, it overshadowed a lot of what transpired in high school football on Friday night. There were gunshots. There's been videos that's been circulating. We're not going to play them on this particular show, folks. We're sorry about that. You can find them on your own. But late in the ball game with Norcom and Churchland. In fact, Churchland led this football game 10-0 against Norcom, and it was a game that was important for Churchland in trying to secure potentially a number 1 seed. Not one win's going to get them it, but if they were to win this game and go 9-1 or 8-2, Lake Taylor still on the docket, was going to be a tricky game for them. But they get an early score. I think it was Keith Williams Jr. He and Aki Hayes leading the running attack. Those two had over 100 yards on the ground. Norcom's able to come back, make it 10-8, and they actually hit a field goal to win this puppy. Late 11-10 was the final tally. That go-ahead field goal from Samuel Denman with about 1 minute and 33 seconds, but the gunshots happening outside the stadium across the street behind Norcom's scoreboard area with 39.8 seconds to go in the contest. Ed, it's a frightening thing. Text starts circulating. It goes viral on social media. And you just have to put you're a coach and a teacher. You don't have any children of your own, but a lot of these you look as like your children. But you have to put your thoughts with them. They're thinking about, oh my goodness, you're worried about your loved one. And the thing that grabs me, and maybe I'm not the most, thoughtful on this, or a trained professional that has the best knowledge and insight, so I'm not trying to criticize here, but I always hear that they emptied the stadium. And I don't know that emptying the stadium into a parking lot, which may or may not be closer to where the incident had occurred, is always the best plan of attack. And if you watch the video, a lot of youngsters start running, fans in the stands start sprinting, diving on the ground. But emptying the stadium, I don't know if that is the best. I don't know what the solution is at that point. You want to obviously put it in the hands of the law enforcement officers to try to tend to that as best as possible to keep everyone safe and sound and calm. But it's a tough situation. You hate to see, like Bill said, it takes away a lot of the joy that some of these kids want to have playing a game they love.
Yeah, I saw the video. At first, I thought it was one of those AI generated, what it looked like. And then you realize it's real. Somebody's out there shooting. We've had this every year somewhere. It's part of our world. It's unfortunate. And a lot of times it is teenagers involved. I'm not saying that's who it was this time because I wasn't there, don't know. Police report, you don't know. Could be anybody that has access to a weapon. But you're right on everybody starts running to the outside. Well, that's kind of where it is. For instance, just to parlay on that, when we do drills in school about active shooter in the building, and think about that statement, active shooter in the building, when did this come into play? But it happens every year. We lock doors, close lights, and crowd the kids into the furthest corner from the door with desk turned over as protection. You don't run out into the hallways, and get out of the building because you're running into it. And that's kind of the thing parallels what you're saying. Everybody's running out of the stadium. Well, you're running to where gunshots are happening. And if there's a retaliation on the gunshots, which there usually is, then bullets are flying also. And it's, I don't like even giving credence to it because it takes away talking about the kids' play and what they're doing. It was a great upset for Norco to beat Churchland, even though they are rivals or whatever. Now, fight, you mentioned about a fight. Now, was that among players after the game in terms of players? No, that's a different situation.
No, I didn't mention about a fight. No, okay. There was some mini skirmishes at other games, but nothing of major consequence.
It was just the gunshots.
Yeah, as far as I know, there may have been one, but I'm not aware of it. I did not mention of a fight. So
because again, you can't hold that against, like many times when I was coaching at Norview, there was fights in the stands.
Right.
There was never a fight among players in the game. It was
no, I haven't seen. Again, there could have been. I'm just not aware of it. I haven't seen any reports of an actual fight that could have had any, escalation of something like this taking place. Now, there could have been. I'm not aware if there was.
And you know this yourself in covering games. There are many areas in our country where they don't play Friday night football. They play Saturday afternoon.
Well, that was what I was getting to. I know you don't want to discuss this topic, but it is worth us highlighting because it is news and it is our duty here. That does bring me to what I was going to bring up to you is that are we now getting to a point now where from a safety precautionary standpoint, and there are certain games that have to be played on Saturday afternoon now. This was one I know that had some Saturday meetings in the past. I'm not sure if that was for safety reasons or because of certain teams having homecoming. I know Norcom's homecoming is scheduled for a Saturday in early November, I believe, against Granby. And they generally have a homecoming Saturday game, just like Bayside's having one today against First Colonial. The Peninsula plays a lot of Saturday games because they have two stadiums to share, essentially with Darling Stadium in Hampton and Todd and Newport News. So the Hampton and Newport News schools will play alternating days on Thursday, Friday, Saturdays throughout the season. But are we now at a point, Ed, where this has to be looked at that essentially when you have two rivals of this magnitude, this game is played on a Saturday. And by the way, One was played on a Saturday in Chesapeake, Oscar Smith and Indian River, which has in the past been a Friday night game. Not sure if it was for just safety reasons, but your thought?
Yeah, it has happened many places. I'll go one step further. I know in Pennsylvania, in the city of Pittsburgh, a long time back, they had games on Saturday afternoon, and there were no fans other than parents of the players for the most part. Relatives, had to show that. So they didn't allow none of that. I pray that we don't get into that kind of situations,
right?
Because, like somebody once told me, whether you play during the day or night, gunshots can come at any time when you have idiots roaming the streets, which is true. Nighttime's a little bit better for those cowards to do the shooting at night than it is during the day. I understand that. But it's a shame that it affects the athletes who really have nothing to do with that in their type of play. And school districts really need those football gates for money to support their whole athletic program. So when you don't allow fans in there, you're hurting all the sports in that thing. So we pray we don't get into those kind of situations. Something I kind of watched last night at Smithfield. We had our homecoming, great crowd, got the victory and all that. And this is no knock on. I'm just saying it because I was there. There are so many kids that come into games, and they don't even know or care about the game. They're walking around, they're crowding up in different areas, and I'm as one of my duties at the game, I'm watching to make sure nothing's about to go down or break or whatever. It had nothing to do with shootings because it's not the kids, but sometimes a fight can break out or whatever. Sure. And I've often said throughout the years, way back, that when people come into a game, that they should be escorted or told, you go get a seat, you're here to watch the game. We're not having thousands of kids, hundreds of kids, I'll say, just all over the place inside there. Because I see kids just running around, a little bit of argument here and there, and it's broken up and whatever, because it's a great meeting place. I'm sure you and I, when we were younger, we'd go to the football game. I do remember being really younger in terms of, we go in and my buddies, we'd start our own little football game way behind the end zone. We just start playing football. We weren't, no fights or whatever. We didn't really come to watch the game. It was a great place to play our own little game. And I'm just wondering if, that helps in terms of crowd control, that you got to sit down. You get a ticket, you got to sit down. Has nothing to do with the shooting and all that. It's two different things. That was outside. Much more serious situation. But I hate it immensely when it takes away from what the kids are doing on the field, the great play that they're doing, that we got to hurry up and lead with gunshots and people running scared and, oh my God, because it sensationalizes that kind of stuff. And I wish we didn't have to report or talk about it at all. But we do.
Well, and the good thing is that there are metal detectors and security measures that are required to get into certain entrance to certain games, thankfully. And, that Phoebus Hampton game is on a Thursday night this year. It's not on a Saturday like some had referenced. But so, again, hope everyone that was at the Norcom and Churchland game does feel safe enough to try to return to future games. And it's a big win for Norcom. I think that's something that we didn't really touch on enough here, Ed, is that that's the type of win that can help them certainly in playoff positioning for Region 3A. They took a couple of lumps early, did Coach Hawkins' team, but some guys making plays on defense. Whitfield forcing a fumble. DeMarcus Edwards recovering one second week in a row. He had one against Lake Taylor. So that's a big win, 11-10. They had started out 0-3 with losses to Thomas Jefferson of Richmond, Petersburg, and Verona, but they get this W, and it matters for them. And for Churchland now, getting that number 1 seed in Region 4A is going to be mighty, mighty tough, with others like Lafayette, Hampton, and Phoebus all eyeing it as well.
Yeah, again, I like to put it all back onto the field in terms of what they're doing. And as you said, Norcom had a heck of a bad start. And, we're at the halfway point. You still have a lot to do to get your season turned around, move up in those doggone rankings and all that stuff. So it ain't like we're in game 8, game 9, and, we'll end the year on a good note. No, you still got some good football left to get some key wins, especially if you can, the way the formulas go, beat some teams that have a lot of wins, because that helps boost your point total. So, and I'm sure, speaking of point total, I'm sure, and I think you alluded to this, people are starting to ask you already, all right, Hatfield, what's the deal? What's the index? If the playoffs started right now, which is, you know me, I'd love to say that right now. Where do people stand? But I know you need time to really start figuring out all those points of that. And
a few games today, I should say, on Saturday, that it will have an impact on how that looks for next week. But we're now into October, so can do a little bit more projecting ahead and forecasting. I'd say after next week's results, you'll have a more, I wouldn't say crystal clear, but a clearer picture of what it will probably look like in early November for the postseason. So there you have it. We'll take another time out. We've got the interview with Malik Heru, Lord Malik Heru, the freshman phenom of the Braves, and we'll go through the scores in the way that we generally do, district by district here, since we're coming up on the 10 Eastern hour here on 757 Sports Talk, starting a little earlier today, going till 11 here. It is Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. Interact with us, and stick around. We've got more coming your way. College football talk, too, and the NFL picks. Chat with you in just a moment.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis, but if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams-Deloitte, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
It's 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and the one and only Coach Ed Young, every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Cova Sports TV. From high school football and basketball to the NFL, MLB, college sports, and the NBA, if it's making headlines, they are breaking it down. Bold takes, big-time guests, and a few laughs, especially at the expense of that basketball coach, Ed Young. Catch it on Cox TV and your view, and don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube at Cova Sports TV.
All right, here with the freshman phenom quarterback, Lord Malik Heru, 26 of 40 for 249 yards passing and 5 touchdowns, including the game winner as his team is able to rally and beat Nansemond over 31-25 in overtime. You're smiling now. How does it feel? You outlasted a really fine quarterback going to Syracuse and Tyrell Grant Jr. and his Nansemond River team. You guys battled back. How's it feel to get this done in a rivalry showcase matchup?
It feels great. I believe in my team. I believe in my O-line. My O-line got my back, as I know, and we just went out there and showed what we could do.
Now, you guys are able to drive down the field about 70, 80 yards. You hit 5 different receivers. You end up tying the game on a touchdown. Take me through just kind of the process there. This is your first really opportunity for a game-tying or game-winning drive there late in the ballgame.
Yeah, my process, like during it, was just take it one play at a time. Don't force nothing. Run if you got to. Just do everything you can to put your team in the right position.
It's been a rough night for the kickers. There was penalties, guys cramping up, injuries, a lot of smack talking and jawing before the game too. So there's some, it's an intense game. The extra point doesn't go through, and you get to overtime. Was the mindset change at all? What's kind of going through your head at that point?
No, so nothing changed at all. Just do everything I can in my power and believe in my team. Had to trust my guys that I know that we could ball out for the whole game, and we did, and we showed that.
One of the plays that was working for you much of the night was the fade pattern. You hit Jason Preston, who had that interception in the OT on 2 of those in the first half. You hit someone else. It might have been either Donovan Brown or Elijah Boggs. I'm forgetting during the craziness of the game. How much did you see that on film during the week practice that that opportunity was there for you against this defense tonight?
I seen it a lot. I just took what the defense was giving me, and I was just showing what we've been preparing for.
You get the INT from Preston. It's your ball now. Either kick wins it or touchdown, 2 incompletions. Take me through that third down play and what you saw there when you get the ball to Elijah for the winning score.
It was nothing crazy. I was just treating it like another play. No, the moment was never too big for me.
Sure. To get this type of win, I know you guys lost a big matchup with Oscar Smith last month. What did you learn from that? Your team battled back and made it a closer game after they were beating you pretty good in the first half. But what did you learn from that game that helps you for tonight's matchup?
Never start out slow. Always put your team in the best position, and don't force a ball.
I got to know, you love football, right? Who's your quarterback you love watching on Sundays or Saturdays?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray? What is it about Kyler you like? You try to.
I've been watching him ever since his highlight mistake came out.
Okay.
So I've been following him ever since.
Good deal. And lastly, to get this win tonight, what do you guys do moving forward from this? How can you use this to help you on a playoff run?
It shows how physical we can be, how mentally prepared we got to be each week, and treat each team the same.
Well, number 7 for Indy River, he was helping his team get 7 points on touchdowns throughout the night, 5 TD passes and a game winner. Thank you so much. Go enjoy it.
Thank you.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Back here on 757 Sports Talk, like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV and interact with us wherever you may be tuning in. And Ed, pretty good job by the young whippersnappers, you like to call them sometimes, those freshmen. 26 of 40 for 249 and 5 touchdowns for Lord Malik Heru as they are able to get the job done.
Yes, and he has a great name. Parents did well. Lord Malik Heru. I like that. I can almost change Heru into Hero. Is that a sighting?
You're gonna start breaking down a Hercules song over here.
Yeah, Lord Malik is going to be only a freshman. He's going to get better. He's going to get stronger. He's going to fill out more. There's going to be some great things for that youngster ahead with big time game last night. The only problem with that game last night, we kind of glossed right over it. Too many penalties for 2 really good teams. Just too many. Still good game, but wow.
Well, real quickly, and I showed it to you people earlier, and I'll let the folks chime in on this too. Which was a better touchdown? His game tying touchdown with 23 seconds. The extra point was no good. That forced overtime, or his game winning. I'll let you watch them both again. We've got the skipped part of the video out from the one earlier, and we do have the wall in the way in the press box. But we'll watch them both again, less than a minute total here, and the fans can interact and chime in here. The tying one, I believe, was to Donovan Brown. Might not have been Donovan Brown. Anyway, the game winner was Elijah Boggs. I think the tying one was Donovan Brown. But here they are again. Tying first, game winning. Let me know which one you liked better. And we have jazzy music for one of them.
Elijah Boggs.
There you go. That good OJ? Good OJ over there you drinking? Good OJ? We catch you with the OJ? Oh, what is
Not
that?
OJ. This is some good.
That looks like you're drinking a Bloody Mary. What are you drinking over there?
Oh, no. This is great. A mixture of grapefruit, pineapple.
Oh, it's a mixture, all right.
And cranberry, I think it is, in there.
Yeah.
But no alcohol. Trust me, no alcohol in this one. That's a good idea, but no.
No. Which one was
That's
better,
just
the
my
game tying
Kickstarter.
or the game winner? By the way, going in the same direction of the field, almost a little bootleg sprint out situation. And who was I watching recently? I think it was, I forget if it was Green Run Salem or somebody, but I'm amazed sometimes where teams, and this happens more in high school, it also happens in college too, where they'll run the same type of play or similar type of play. And it's one of those, keep doing it until they stop it. But they were having tons of success getting him out on the edge, and he's also a threat with his legs. But they executed that quite well, almost flawless, you could say, and got it done. After a couple of incompletes, we were thinking, this could be a 2, 3, 4 overtime deal. And Coach Carr talked about the one he had that was a lot of overtimes. So, yeah. Which one did you like better, though? The tying or the game winner?
I like the game winner. I thought it was a little bit more excitement in it because it's the one that put him ahead. He's running. You got to thread the needle a little bit. A lot of things can go wrong right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I give it a slight edge over the game time, which was a nice catch on the ground, keeping it low, too. That could have been a skip ball on the ground or catch it against the ground. But they're very close, but give me the game winner.
Okay. Let's fire up the music and go through those games. We'll go in the Southeastern District. You have the scores in front of you, so you can take them district by district. And by the way, as we finish up, just some thoughts on that game, Nansemond had a lead on a couple of different occasions in this ballgame. They weren't long leads, but they had the lead in this game, and they couldn't hold it. A big reason why, obviously, they never did a lot of things well, but late in the first half, their sophomore sensation wide receiver, Quincy Gilmer, who, by the way, has a bright future ahead of him. He is a track star, super fast, like 4.2 40 fast. He had a 50-yard touchdown catch, 4 grabs for 96 yards. He got tossed for his second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I bring that up because I'm not sure. I hear the VHSL will review that to see if this requires them to sit out further games. That could affect them if it does lead into the Oscar Smith game. But that was tricky. A lot of penalties, and they needed him badly, missed him dearly in the second half of that game. I hate to bring it up, but it was a deep threat they didn't have, and they still ended up throwing for 285 yards. And Tyrell Grant Jr. probably goes over 300 if he has the services of Gilmer in the second half. And they might have had the outcome in their favor if they had him in the second half.
Yeah, to me, it's a story because he's that good.
Yeah.
And 2 of those type of penalties, and again, you'd have to see exactly what went on because you're right. Normally, when you get ejected from one game, there's a sit out for a game, whether 2 or 3 games or whatever.
There is, and I'm not sure if this applies because it wasn't fighting. It was unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. So that's why there's a little bit of a gray area to see. And I know there's also, as you well know, we're going to coach, there's an appeal process. So could they appeal this? How that's written up by the officials influences this too. But I mean, he's not the only star receiver. We won't delve into it at this particular juncture moment. But another highly regarded wide receiver, maybe even more so on the senior class, has been missing in action, but he'll be back, we understand, coming up later this month. But it does affect a team when you're down one of those weapons like that. It's
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely, no question about it. When you lose a key performer, whether it's on the line or the hands guys or whatever, it's definitely in a game like that, no question.
Give us the other Southeastern District results and finals. I know you have them in front of you there. And I gained a game on you after I lost a game on you with the Bethel Phoebus because I took the Wildcats. Congrats to Joey Wood and company taking down those Grizzlies.
What Wildcats?
Wildcats of Great Bridge, Southeastern District. You had Grassfield. I had Great Bridge.
Grassfield?
Yeah, you did. Don't do that. I'll show the audience if you like.
I want a do-over. Give me a do-over on that. I'm going to go.
You can't. The game's done. You can't have a do-over.
I can one mistake. Come on, let me go back and fix
No,
that.
you have more than one mistake.
Well, Great Bridge put some points on the board. Now, this one I have to ask the great Matt Hatfield. 62 points by Great Bridge over Grassfield, 62-20. When's the last time Great Bridge scored that many points? Do you know?
That's a great question. Look at you trying to stump me this early in the morning. It's easy like Sunday morning. I'm bust out my Lionel Richie, right? It's not Sunday morning, it's Saturday morning. Well, they scored 61 in a win over Deep Creek when they were then coached by Pete Gale back in 2014. But 62 or more? Oh, you've got me digging through the archives. That's 1 point shy of 62. 61's 1 point. Thought I'd help you out with that. The last time they scored that or more, you got to go back to 2010, also coached by Peter Gale. Everybody calls him Pete, not Peter. 64-14 in 2010 over Nansemond River. And I understand his motivation to score 64 15 years ago was something you had said on the radio back in 2010. So you were his motivation, his fuel to have the Wildcats score that many points back in 2010.
I think I said it would be Nansemond River should have no problem back then with Great Bridge.
And Tracy Parker, who's now the coach at Smithfield, once again your office mate. I think he was still coaching the team at that time, or was coaching the team at the time. Probably wanted to punch you afterwards for running your big mouth yet again. There you go.
Well, I said it in a talking head manner. I didn't disparage Great Bridge. I said Nansemond should be able to handle Great Bridge and win that game, which they did.
All right, Mary, we're going to talk about the Packers. Don't worry, Ed is the basketball coach there, so don't trust us. We're going to chat about him in a Bay Rivers roundup. But the Southeastern scores, anything really grab you besides that? And we'll shout out that right tackle, the 9th grader, Danny there. So what's grabbing you on that Southeastern score?
Hickory Lambrusque, Lakeland 56-0.
Lambrusque, is that a word?
It's kind of like when you're grilling.
Lambrusque?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
It's a point of almost burning your food. I don't know where it came from. I just remember it. It might be from the Italian language.
In our next spelling bee that we do with you and a coach, and you've done spelling bees against coaches like Martin Asprey, former Grassfield football coach, we did it at a football camp one year, the Sheriff's football camp. Do you want lamb? No, you're not. You've lost because you missed on Giannis Antetokounmpo and you couldn't spell Fuamatuma Fala or something else.
But there's some good juice for
it. Would you like Lambrusque in your next spelling bee? Is that even? I don't know if we can use that.
Put that in there because I got to look up the spelling. Let's move with these scores because we got a lot of places to get to.
Sure.
Kings Fork 28-14 over Western Branch, a little closer than I thought.
And trailed 14-7 at the half. By the way, CJ Frazier, we wish him best. Understand he's sidelined now with a wrist injury the rest of the way. The Navy commit for Western Branch's defense. We heard from him in the summertime when our man Jack Lowe caught up with him. So that's one key ingredient component that Western Branch is without the rest of the way. But they did well for a half, just couldn't hold them in the second half on the road in Suffolk.
And then in a one that I think we both kind of had it the right way, Oscar Smith 48-10 over Deep Creek. Smith train keeps on rolling.
Oscar, you know what's interesting about Oscar Smith, and we'll get to it in the Eastern District with Maury. Some of these powers like to set the tone from the start. And do you know what I mean by setting the tone from the start?
Yeah, right off the bat, they're going to let you know how it's going to go down tonight.
No. I'm talking about opening kickoff return for a touchdown. Jaden Koval, the UVA commit, had that in that game. And in the Eastern District, Matt Williams, who's got the best first name in the state, the junior, highly regarded player for the Commodores, had one he took to the house for them in their matchup against Norview. Speaking of which, would you like to go from the SCD to the Eastern now, since I just brought that up?
Yeah, you brought it up. We might as well have to. We 58-0, Maury over Norview. I didn't think it would be quite that big of a win over Norview.
Yes.
But
wait. Time out. I'm gonna correct you again. You didn't think it would be that lopsided. If you didn't think it would be that lopsided, then why did you pick? Oh, yeah, you're right. You did have 48-0. I had 70-6. So, I stand corrected.
70-6.
Well, you have to understand, Maury, the last 2 weeks, put up 91 on Booker T and 77 on Churchland, who beat Norview. So I thought they'd hit the 70 burger again. By the way, at halftime, they had 52. So your score pick was already out the window at halftime. They took it easy in the second half and played the subs. Only scored 6 the rest of the way.
This is why you get letters from the parents. You're saying Maury's going to drub those youngsters from Norview 70-some points, 80-some points. I don't care what they had before. You can't go that high on scores. So
yes, you can. I did. And by the way, if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. What are you going to do about it?
You're wrong a lot. I got to defend you a lot with these people because they say, "Hey, your buddy, he picked somebody to beat us 80-0. What's going on?" I said, "You got to talk to him."
Well, the first thing you say is he's not my buddy. The second thing you say is,
"Well, I don't emphasize." See, a lot of people think we're doing this show because we're friends, whatever. I said, "Hey, no. Contractually, we do a show together." Nobody said nothing about friends. I'm not fighting them over. We're not hanging out a lot here and there, so understand that. I thought he was your buddy. I said, well, you thought wrong.
Right in the kisser. Right in the kisser.
But let's move. We digress. Let's get these scores done. Lake Taylor 58-24 over Manor. Lake Taylor got a game coming up soon with Maury. Who knows? And here's the one I'm intrigued by because there's a little story behind it. If he's still coaching. Granby beats Booker T 15-13. Does that not make Jonathan Wilson 2-0?
That does make Jonathan Wilson 2-0 as don't call him the interim coach. He's the temporary coach. Be careful. People get all, up in arms if you use the wrong phrase there. Hey, Comets have played better. Now, they've played better with the schedule being soft. They beat Manor and Booker T Washington. So I can't go absolutely zany on that. And they win that game. 15-yard touchdown run from Deontay Holloway. The two-pointer was no good in the third quarter. They trailed this game early, but Montavion Jones to Samaj Lyons got him in front. Actually, that was a touchdown from Holloway for Booker T. Gerald Blackman had the touchdown. The two-point conversion was good to make it 15-7, and then they held on in the fourth quarter with nobody scoring either way. So Granby's next game, though, an interesting one at Norfolk Academy, private school ed. And since we're just going there, why don't you give the folks what happened on the private school side of things? And folks got a chance to watch it right here on Cova Sports TV. Wayne Lance's Seahawks now on a winning streak, 3 in a row as Atlantic Shores is able to turn back their visitors from Blue Ridge. What was that final?
48-18.
There you go. Michael Lance get it done. Youngster Wayne Lance's offspring throwing the TD passes, leading the way. What happened with Norfolk Academy and NSA?
Now that was going the other way. It was only 6-0 victory for Norfolk, where these teams are scoring 50 points. A 6-0 game. That's like 1-0 in baseball. So that was a defensive struggle with Norfolk.
Real quickly,
Academy.
Are you surprised by that? And if you're Steve Moniger, any concern? It's a private versus public matchup. You're probably expected to win. Key game. It has a little buzz to it. I'd certainly have more buzz if Granby was having a year they had last season, but. Your quick take on that game for next week, Academy and Granby, first showdown, huh?
Yeah, I got to look a little bit more into what Norfolk Academy has. My heart wants to go with Granby because relationship I have with Jonathan Wilson, former player of mine, when I coached at Norview. So, but Norfolk Academy usually can get some things done on that football field. Right now, I would kind of give the edge to Granby, but I'm going to have to.
Really? Because Norfolk Academy's 5-1, only blemish was 17-10 to St. Christopher's. And as you know, St. Christopher's is mighty, mighty good. They have one of the best linemen and 2 sports standouts. You got a chance to broadcast one of his basketball games in the state. And we're talking about one Darius Gray, the offensive lineman, who is committed to play for the Gamecocks of South Carolina for St. Chris, who beat Huguenot back in late August in kind of a signature win, private versus public matchup. So to hang with St. Chris, and I would give the edge to Norfolk Academy. I know you're biased and partial there, and people like to say you're the public school guy and going to side with your buddy that you used to coach in Jonathan Wilson. But I would give the edge to Norfolk Academy.
That's where my heart lies, but I'm going to do some more studying on that situation before Friday when it picks up.
That sounds like he's gonna take the same as me because he doesn't want to lose his slim, and I do mean.
Oh no, I'm not.
One game lead on Matt.
That doesn't concern me because I'm still up there.
Not for long. I'm chasing you down like I'm gonna be all over you like a spider monkey.
Now, you be who you want to be. That would be a great costume for you for Halloween coming up, since that's your favorite holiday. And the problem is you wear the mask all year long. If you would not do that, it would be a lot better. But I digress again. Let's finish out these private schools. All right. Norfolk Christian 35-14 over Central Virginia. And Fishburne Military, they lose to Greenbrier Christian 51-0. Nandua, who is not a private school, beat Isle of Wight Academy 31-0. And then on Thursday night, Catholic out of Norfolk?
Virginia Beach.
Virginia Beach beats Hampton Roads Academy 27-0. So that's your private school agenda Thursday. And of course, most all the games were last night. Where be it we go next?
A lot of shutouts. We'll do one more district because we haven't touched on the Bay Rivers, the beach, or the peninsula yet. So pick one more, and then we'll do a timeout, and then 2 more districts. As Lynn Burke is watching now, we were just talking about you and your book that'll be out soon, Lynn. As he says, good morning to Coach Hatfield and Coach.
No,
Lynn. 2-0, baby, on the hardwood. Great Neck girls basketball. I'm undefeated. Got a better win percentage than Ed Young. Lynn knows it. America knows it. Yeah. Thank you.
I try to tell you, Lynn, of all people, stop filling this knucklehead's head with he's the coach now. Now he's going to talk about he's winning when he's coaching his third grade girls team somewhere. He's not a coach, can't be a coach, never will be a coach. Okay?
I can break down coverages and offensive schemes, defensive schemes, formations way better than you can on the gridiron. So don't even go there, sir. I will run circles around you.
Somebody said to me a couple of weeks ago, hey, the Hatfield guy, did he swim or something in high school? He's always in the pool. I said, swim. Have you ever seen him swim in the pool in the full segments? Answer is no. He jumps in, sits in one spot, and comes up with the most ridiculous jokes of all time. And you people keep filling his head that he thinks everybody wants to hear it and see it. So you've got to be careful. Yes, he's about 500, and I don't even know what it is behind me.
See, he's got to ask me to know how many wins he's got because he doesn't know. He doesn't keep track. He just keeps that towel waving. And by the way, did the towel disappear? I don't see the towel now. Did you get rid of the towel? Or did the towel get rid of you?
I might have used it to probably wash my hands, dry my hands, probably. I'm not sure. Okay. But yeah, we've got to be careful we don't fill this dude's heads up. And because the break is coming up fast, let's get these scores from my favorite.
That must be the
Bay Rivers.
All right, what do you have? Hey, it was the Hovis Trophy on the line. It was York. It was Tab. I know you wanted to go with your buddy Blue Smoke Doug Pereira, and they were winning this game early. They were up in this game, but Tab, as they tend to do, they've been a second-half team the last couple of years under John Byron, and they were once again just that in this latest installment of the Hovis Trophy Showdown rivalry game.
Yeah, that was a 17-14 Tab victory. And I know in the past years, sometimes this game brought us double overtime, triple overtime, game-winning touchdown, walk-off touchdown. But this time it was a 17-14 victory for Tab.
Well, it did. 14-play, 76-yard drive. It chews over 8 minutes of clock time off, and Khalil Outlaw finishes it up. Mr. Outlaw, a 3-yard touchdown run with 1:52 to go, as it was a big crowd at Bailey Field. Good night for Corbin Eckert, the quarterback for Tab, has been doing more damage with his arm than his legs. And York's been a little handcuffed as their original starting quarterback went down with an injury. They're playing Anthony Custis from running back to QB there. But Tab gets it done. Offensive line, so essential to that game-winning drive. We sort of glossed over it a little bit with Indian River's game-winning drive or game-tying drive to go down the field, trailing against Nansemond River and tie it up. Very important for Tab here. And that's the type of win that's going to help Tab out before we go through the rest of the BRD. I know the Smithfield fans are watching with bated breath here to hit their game with Grafton. But now with this win, 3 in a row for Tab. They're 5-2 before the bye week. Then they have Gloucester, at War Hill, at Lafayette. I'm not sure they win those last 2, but this is the type of win in 3A, which is, let's just be perfectly blunt here, be honest, it's weaker than 5A and 5B and 4A and 6A. Lake Taylor has the inside track on the 1 seed, even if they're to lose to Maury, Ed. But Tab now can be talked about on that 2 or 3 line, potentially in 3A. I know you still got New Kent, who was idle this week. But Tab, and they lost to New Kent, Tab has got a great, great chance to host a first-round playoff game and possibly even a second-round home playoff game.
They definitely got a whole lot to play for in these again, the halfway point, keep emphasizing we're at the halfway point for high school football. Played 10 games. Everybody's played 5 for the most part. Still a whole lot of things to accomplish. Now, that game was interesting because how close it was, because the rest of the Bay Rivers, it was over quickly. Mm-hmm. We had Pocosin 54-0 over Gloucester. We had War Hill 61-6 over Bruton, and Lafayette 55-0 over Jamestown. And the next closest game was the Smithfield Packers 41, Grafton 14 on homecoming night. Made it really good. Great crowd. Everything looking good. And I got to say hats off to my man, Pat Doolin, the AD, Smithfield. You should see what he did to the entranceway of the football stadium. I should have took a picture. And matter of fact,
why didn't you video it? It's gonna be, I'm sure, vertical, not horizontal, the way it's supposed to be shot and filmed. And I'm sure you messed it up because you're a terrible camera operator.
Yeah,
Thank God you're a much better basketball coach than you are a camera operator. You really
that's debatable at times too. So
no, you're that bad of a camera operator. So
I'm going to send this to you because it's got to go up. Pat Doolin did this. It was not. Nobody told him to do it. Nobody expected. It's not even in his pay grade. He painted the sidewalk blue.
Really?
And he put in the blue what solar lights.
Oh, nice.
As you come up to the stadium. When I'm walking on the blue, I told him when I'm walking on the blue, I feel like I'm on the water or something. I don't know why it's different in my head. I sent it to you. If you can pull it up and put it out for all the people to see.
Oh, you know what? We can show it. There it is. Look at that.
Look at this.
That looks better than my driveway, that's for sure. Wow.
Now, this is what an AD does. We got ADs that can't get off their butt out of their office to do what's regular. This guy's out, got paint all over him. He's on his knees. He's got scraped knees. He's dirty. He's got paint across his face. And then meanwhile, he's also trying to take care of business for all the sports. This is what an AD is doing. And I want to bring that out there. That was all done by Pat Doolin. Nobody told him to do it. He did it on his own.
You know what? You're doing a great job of sucking up today. You're doing a great job. That means
I don't need to. I don't need to. I've already yelled at Pat. In fact, we've only been together a month. I've already yelled at him 3 times. So I'm probably yelling at him.
He's not married to you, and he's glad he's not. Oh my gosh, he'd be on suicide watch.
Yeah, I was going to say, he would say to me, Coach, I don't listen to my wife. I ain't going to listen to you, but I ain't going to say that because he definitely listens to his wife.
Christmas is around the corner. Ed Young's trying to be a good boy, ladies and gents, so he gets an extra stocking stuffer. That's what he wants.
No, I just want to make sure I get.
But that does look cool. I'm not gonna lie. That is.
Hey, you should see it at night. You should see it at night.
I see the little glow. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I should call Doolin.
Hey,
Doolin
York
Services help fix my house
blue
Christmas
smoke.
Decorations and all that. What's that?
York has blue smoke. Smithfield has blue sidewalk with lights. Okay, so now we just got to get Hatfield out there to feel that Smithfield's important so that he can grace us.
Hold on, that leads me to the next thing here. And before we'll take a timeout and then tackle the Beach District scores and the Peninsula scores, and then we will do our college football NFL picks, close up things here on this edition of 7x7 Sports Talk. So next week, York invades Smithfield, which has got me wondering, are you going to greet blue smoke with, like we talked about, little comes out in blue smoke, and you come out with, the Packers lead them on the field. Since you're going to see your buddy Pereira, are you going to do that? We talked about this. Time is coming up next week. You got nothing else on the schedule for October 17th. Don't tell me you have some big shindig to go to or some basketball clinic or some party or some cruise or some concert. It's now put up or shut up time. Are you going to go do it? And Gene Jones even says, go Packers. Are you going to do it? Gene, tell him. Ed's got to step up his game and roll out the red carpet for one Doug Pereira and show him that you got better blue smoke than his blue smoke.
Well, first of all, Gene Jones, congrats to you. Gene Jones got elected to the Old School Legends Hall of Fame a couple weeks ago. So Gino's in there. And as far as Doug Pereira, I love you, Doug, but blue smoke will be extinguished at Smithfield next week. I'm not greeting you with the blue smoke. You can walk up our blue sidewalk if you want.
Don't start talking trash that will end up getting you in trouble and Tracy Parker want to punch you again after what happened 15 years ago against Great Bridge. Don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I will never trash another team, and especially somebody like Doug who really works his butt off for his program.
Okay, smack talk. You're stuck in
we're not. The blue smoke won't make its presence because you can do that at home. You ain't doing that on our area.
And Gene, I love you, but that's debatable on the first class sometimes. He'd love to sit in first class on the plane, but he's been kept out.
And Gene, speaking of first class, Hatfield's probably his third best time in school because he spent 4 years in first grade. 4 years. He's a veteran of first grade, knowing how it works. So, and Gino's down there, I think, I always say, where's he? He's principal somewhere in North Carolina. Gene, put it up there. Tell us where you're at.
Because
Gene was a big-time player at Norfolk. Oh, my God.
Norfolk Catholic, I'm pretty sure, as he's told you many a times, and you're way off the mark. And by the way, no relation, as he told us, to the lineman from Hampton who's got the name Gene Jones Jr., not his son.
That's true. That's true.
Although he's playing well enough that he could adopt him and say it's his. So, hey, big force on the line of scrimmage for the Crabbers. So you're not gonna roll out the red carpet for Doug Pereira. You're not gonna.
No, I'm gonna roll out the blue sidewalk, but he can come up that.
Well,
and
Mr. Doolin's gonna do that. You didn't do anything with the blue sidewalk. You once again are taking the cop out, easy way, easy road out, which is typical of you.
I'll roll the blue sidewalk up for Doug. But Doug, I love you to death, but I hope you win every game but one. So we'll leave it at that.
Every game but one. That's what he says. Okay. Assistant principal at Durham Riverside High School. There you go. That's the
because if I wouldn't have got this Smithfield gig, I was about to write to Gino and say, Gene, wherever you're at, fire your coach.
Wow, you're going to tell him to fire his coach. That's real kind of you.
I mean, I don't know the guy. Not going to bring up his name.
Wow.
You are. Hey, it's what friends are for.
You are off the chain today. You know that you are off the chain. You should get rid of your chain because you're off it today.
Well, I wouldn't mind having some more chain.
Well, we're going to take another timeout. We've got more coming your way on 757 Sports Talk, including what transpired in the Beach District and the Peninsula District. A couple of key games in both those districts coming up next week. I'll get Ed's take on those. Plus, Ed, I'll play you December 23rd, a couple of days before Christmas. Say something funny. It is 757 Sports Talk, and you're watching with us all the time on Cova Sports TV. Now this from those that make it possible, such as Chicho's. Get you some pizza from Chicho's.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
James Catato tells us tonight there's a new team making new noise in the USL2 scene on the other side of the water.
Something special is brewing inside the walls of the Virginia Beach Sportsplex.
We're not here for moral victories. When we're on our day, we're a legit team.
See the stars of the future in pre-professional action at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. This combined season ticket special is for men's and women's. That's 15 games for just $100 for adults and $80 for youth. VBU has a brand new women's team that competes in the W League. Soccer fans, it's time to rally behind Virginia Beach United. Tickets are on sale now. Visit vbunited.com. Don't miss out on Virginia Beach United.
A very sad sign. The pool is covered for the remainder of 2025. And with that, we send it back to Matt Hatfield and the coach, Ed Young, on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
I'm going to drink to that. No more fooling the pool for a long time. That is a good feeling.
You're despicable. You know that?
So many of my constituents out there are doing the same thing. So
they're not drinking to that. You're evil. It's pure evil.
That's what Stewie would say.
You are pure evil. That's why you are the evil basketball coach.
Hey, why don't you try this one? Let's take it up a notch. And
by the way, I'll play you December 23rd. You didn't say nothing. I'll play you.
I need a game.
My great net girls will come play you. Come on.
I need a game December 23rd and December 30th.
Listen, well, December 30th.
Yeah.
So you want 2 days before Christmas and 7 days after that. Okay.
I need 2 more games.
You want no. You let's again reiterate this. You don't need 2 more games. You want 2 more games. You need oxygen. You need water. You need air. You don't need 2 more games. You want 2 more games.
This is what I got to put up with. Yeah, okay. Oxygen, air, we need that. And I need 2 more games to fill out my schedule. So
you want 2 more games to fill out your schedule. Get it right. Maybe if you ask nicely, you'll get them. But you keep saying you need things. You're too needy. We don't, somebody's going to say we don't need you. How about that?
That's fine with me. I don't have a problem with that. There's a whole lot of people. I got the list. It's over here somewhere. I got a list of people I don't need either. It's over here. But here's what I'm thinking before we got to get back to these scores.
People you don't need. You don't need the list. Why do you keep a list of people you don't need? What are you doing over there?
Just to remind myself. Since the pool is closed, why don't you jump in the river? James River is not closed, and do some of the segments from the James River. Wouldn't that be make for some great Saturday morning shenanigans? We got Hatfield from the river, not Nansemond or not Indian, but James River.
Nobody's laughing at that.
Well, I'll put it out there to the people. How many, raise your hand up on here, get on the chat line, whatever, wouldn't mind seeing Fool in the Pool switch over to, I got to come up with a phrase for the river, in the river.
I was covering the rivers last night, Nansemond and Indian.
That's what I'm saying. You have experience with the rivers. So now why don't you go into the James River and do a joke session from the James River? I guarantee you it'd be riveting. Our ratings would go up. It would be better. It'd be better than Fool in the Pool.
Where would you like to go next? We're not going to the James River. We're going to the Beach District or the Peninsula.
Well, let's go. Yeah, we're talking waters. Let's go to the Peninsula because if I'm not mistaken, if I look at this right, only one game last night, couple to go today. And, of course, there was the big one last Thursday, Phoebus knocking off Bethel 34-21. Last night it was Warwick easily over Woodside 21-0. But 2 games today, we've got Kickintan versus Hampton and Menchville versus Denby.
Okay, let me pause you there. And we both took Denby over Menchville. The Massey ratings have Menchville, by the way, as Denby tries to secure its first win in that head-to-head series with the Monarchs since 2016. And we both also have Hampton taking care of Kickintan, which, by the way, I think has started now. In fact, if I can pull it up, I'll tell you what the score is while we're doing this now. We'll give you a live score update, potentially.
Wow, 10 a.m. game.
Yeah, it started at 10 a.m. It is currently right now Hampton 6, Kickingham 0 with 1:56 to go in the first quarter. Crabbers in their black unis with the red numbers, Kickingham in their white jerseys with the green numbers. See what I can do? I can give you live in-play updates. Of course, if you're watching this later, you're not going to be watching it live. You'll be watching it on sort of a delay or replay. But that score, Warwick, and we know how good the Warwick defense is. Tracy Pope's been balling out, Cartier Carey, Christian Corbin, Dwayne Skipwith on the line of scrimmage, dominating. But it's the same score that Churchland beat Norview last week, and then they got beat by Norcom. Didn't have a ton of offense, and we've seen the offense step up here for Warwick. I gotta be complimentary now. Terrier's downtown Brown ran over some defenses, and Thomas Sykes and company have stepped up the offensive productivity for that group. However, they've had injuries at quarterback. A couple of guys that are going to play quarterback transferred out in the offseason to a school in the district, to a school outside the area. So they've been down to third and fourth string quarterback essentially. And now Warwick has, after they play Denby, which will have a little bit of a meaning to it, October 23rd against the Hampton Crabbers. So it's the only thing standing in the way of that first PD title for the Raiders. If you want to still, and by the way, I'm going to sound like the Debbie Downer or the Maddie Frowner. Get it, Maddie Frowner? There really aren't district titles anymore, so I don't know why people around here making a big hubbubaloo about district titles, since not everybody in the districts play each other, all that much. Nonetheless, Warwick has a chance to go through the peninsula unscathed for the first time. Are you at all concerned that the offense, if they have to generate points against, say, a Hampton in a couple weeks, are you concerned, or are you more settled with that Warwick defense is going to dominate? They'll be just fine, Matt. You're making a mountain out of a molehill.
Well, I've said it before. You can have the greatest defense in the world. You got to score some points, or that defense is going to wear out. I think Warwick's offense is okay now. Downtown Brown, that kid can run through brick wall. Yeah, he's got that power and elusiveness in his run. So I think Warwick, I still think they're a better defensive team than they are on the offensive side, but their offense speaks for itself. I think they can handle that both ways. I don't think Warwick will have an issue. They're done with Phoebus. Hampton will be a tough game. Other than that, I think Warwick will look good heading into the playoffs. Well,
and Hampton's in progress now, but Hampton's next two games, Phoebus and Warwick. Is it important that they get a split out of that? And can Hampton get a split, or are they looking at potentially back-to-back losses in that deal? Or do they have the ability to go 2-0? What's most likely, 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2 in that key back-to-back stretch with both their rival, the Fandoms, and the only team that hasn't lost a district game in regards to, I should say that Hampton hasn't lost a district game yet, but looks like the favorite in Warwick. What do you think? Is Hampton going to go 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2 in that stretch? And what kind of tells the story there?
It's really my gut reaction is to say Phoebus, Warwick, Hampton, you're looking at two potential losses. But knowing Phoebus has been dented by some teams this year pretty good, and Warwick at times has shown trouble in scoring, though they're doing it fairly decent now. Mm-hmm. It's really going to be what Hampton team comes. Their best effort of the year. They're both sides of the ball now, because you're going to have to score against those teams, and both those teams can rack you up when they're on defense. So you're going to have to be able to score, and then you're going to have to be able to hold them. I would say, just off the top of my head, to answer your question, 0-2 comes up, but I probably want to jump into 1-1. 2-0 would be the third choice out of there, but it's not impossible based on what Warwick and Phoebus have shown this year that they can be had. And it just depends on what Hampton team's going to show up.
So, we got look at that in-play update. They scored 10, Keith. It was just
Keith is at the game?
It must be. He just said 16. Last I saw it was it is 16. I thought it was 6-0. Look at that. Keith setting me straight. It was not 6-0. It was 16-0. Thank you, Keith. He's on top of it for us. Appreciate that.
Keith, still haven't seen you at Smithfield, buddy. I mean, all these years you were there, I wasn't. Now I'm there, and you ain't. So
well, let's figure it out. You came and he decided to run. I don't blame him. I'd be running for the hills sometimes too, Keith. So
I bet the other Keith, our mascot Keith, who was running for homecoming king last night, didn't win it. But he
wait. There's two Keiths.
There's another Keith at Smithfield, senior at the school, and he is the mascot.
So it's not our beloved Keith. There's a second Keith.
He's been retired as mascot. Oh yeah, he's been retired.
Do you think if they had a popularity contest between the two Keiths, we could make that?
I'm gonna tell you what.
Oh, be careful what you say.
Present Keith is well liked. When they mentioned his name last night at halftime, he got a whole lot of people yelling, especially the female population. So,
oh wow,
our Keith, older Keith, you might be yesterday's news.
Oh man, look at you! You're just throwing him out to the pack. Keith, and he's Keith A to me. The other Keith is Keith B. Keith A and Keith B. I'm still partial to Keith A because I haven't met Keith B.
Yeah, you haven't met him yet. So, but Keith, you're out of sight, out of mind. That's all I can tell you.
Man.
Out of sight.
Don't worry. He'll come check you out in basketball season. And then he'll be asking all kinds of questions why you're running, what you're running, and doing what you're doing.
The problem with Keith is he calls home where he hangs his hat and he don't wear one. So we don't know where he is.
Well, look, he's a busy man. Keith has things to do, people to see, places to go. And thank you, Derek. Let's make sure people understand Keith is a legend in Smithfield. You're trying to almost like you're denigrating Keith. Come on now.
Oh, no, I would never take the legend status away from Keith because when you think of Keith, you think of Smithfield. Think of Smithfield, you think of Keith. So we give him his props. But I'm there. I haven't seen him yet. So, Keith, come on out next week, home Friday night football. Get you come out. Yeah, bless us with your presence in terms of shake some hands, kiss some babies, and, you're back in Smithfield.
If Keith makes a promise to come to the game, will you and him run out of the tunnel onto the field for the big battle against Pereira and the Falcons? Will y'all run out together, mascot uniform or not? Will you run out there and help lead the team on the field?
No, I'll take a video with Keith and I walking down together on the booth.
You want to take these easy cop outs? Come on, step up your game. Let's go to the Beach District, shall we? Because we've left them out all morning long, and we don't want them to feel left out.
Well, yeah, we got to take care of the Beach District as Green Run took care of Lansdowne 34-7 last night. Salem over Kellam 14-0. Kempsville 31, Ocean Lakes 12. Tallwood 48-20 over Princess Anne. And there is a game today, 2:00. So hopefully they avoid the rain. First Colonial is at Bayside.
What was that Salem-Kellam score again? You said, was it 14-0?
14-0.
You had a field goal blocked. I'm surprised it was that low scoring. And Salem's defense kept Aaron Smith in check. Of course, the rain and the wind probably had a little bit to do with it. But Salem's defense responding well. I thought they had a little more offense, so they're down to their backup quarterback there. Kempsville was able to pull away from Ocean Lakes in the fourth quarter. Wasn't an easy affair. And Green Run against Lansdowne took care of business with not much problem, although Lansdowne had a lot of missed opportunities from what I was told. They were in position in that game, had some trips in the red zone, didn't finish them out. So with that in mind, it makes you wonder, is this Green Run defense penetrable here? And furthermore, what are we going to see when Green Run and Bayside collide next week? Because Green Run now, offensively, what did they put up on Lansdowne, you said? 34. So now they're averaging 40.4 per game. And right now, Bayside's at 39.2. Depending on what happens today with FC, that number could go up or could go down. So is that going to be a little bit of a high-scoring game like the Green Run Salem game was? Or will the defense dictate who wins and by how much? I think the Hampton Phoebus game, by the way, on Thursday, going to the PD as a game of the week, will be higher scoring, played in the upper 20s, perhaps someone getting to 30+. This game, too, might also be that type of game, even though both teams are going to also lean on their running games for Bayside with Kyron Brown and their quarterback, who's a dual threat in Cam Kirby, and for Green Run, that 1-2 punch of ODU commit Charles Jackson and Tristan Pitbull Williams.
I don't know. I would say the green run game will be higher scoring.
Then Hampton Phoebus?
I think so.
Oh, I disagree.
Well, and then the other thing is weather. If it's going to rain,
sure,
that'll put a damper.
I think Hampton Phoebus will be the higher scoring. I could see that game literally being 35. It could mirror Hampton Phoebus could mirror what we saw on Friday night with Nansemond and Indian River. Team with the ball last wins.
Minus all those penalty yardage. Because that's a rival game.
No, it could have penalties. Just like Green Run Bayside could have a lot of penalties too. I did a Green Run Bayside game either last year or the year before on a Saturday where it was like 30-something penalties too. So, been there, done that.
Yeah,
nothing new.
The youngsters have got to calm down and don't get the needless penalties. You jump off sides because you're a little antsy, okay, but if you get unsportsmanlike penalties and late hits and all that stuff, grabbing face mask and all that, let's put that stuff away that detracts from a great game.
By the way, I call it the obsessive trait. It feels like every team in Class 5 that wants to win is sort of obsessed with the two-time defending champion Maury. If you want to beat Maury or be on their level, you can't have that many penalties. I don't care who you are. That's just the bottom line. And this used to be the same message we used to have with Hampton in the 90s, same message we had with Oscar Smith and Phoebus in the early 2000s, and it now exists if you want to go play with and compete and have a chance to beat Maury. You can't have 8, 9, 10-plus penalties and go beat the Commodores. It's just not happening. So
no, there's no way you're beating a powerhouse making penalties and bad decisions. Not happening.
One more note. Kempsfield Chiefs. They started out 2-2. They've now won back-to-back. Their remaining schedule is FC Tallwood, Kellum, and Cox. Not the most daunting. Will the Chiefs take an 8-game winning streak into the playoffs? Yes or no? You don't get to say maybe. Yes or no?
Throw those schools that they got left now.
Okay, they have now gone from 2-2 to 4-2. They're at FC, host Tallwood. You can do the Mike and the Mad Dog. That's a win, dog. That's a loss, dog. At FC, host Tallwood, at Kellum, night before Halloween, and at Cox. Probably the most challenging of that foursome.
Yeah, I mean.
It's a win, dog. It's a loss, dog. It's a win, dog. It's a loss, dog. What do you have, dog?
Tell you,
Mikey, that's a good one there. I gotta agree with you. That's a win. That's a loss. Go ahead there.
I'm gonna say, dog. Give me 3-1.
3. Oh, that you say the Chiefs will be 7. Hope you heard that, Kempsville. Daryl Cherry and the Chiefs. If you're watching, Ed Young says you're going 7-3. I think you're going 8-2. I think you're going to win out into the postseason.
Probably will, but I wouldn't mind being wrong in this one.
Okay. Stick around, a little bit more to do here on this edition of 757 Sports Talk. We'll hit on the college football and the NFL picks to conclude this particular episode. As always, you are watching with us on Cova Sports TV, where we ask you to like, to share, and most importantly, subscribe, because when you hit that little bell, ding, 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 it will ding for you. You get notifications when things go live, like our show and live sporting events on Cova Sports TV. And you will not miss a thing. Plus, you can always go back on the playlist and rewatch things on the show you liked, maybe didn't like, or missed. All available for you on Cova Sports TV on YouTube. And go ahead, you got the finger up, means you got to say something.
And it costs them nothing. 0 zilch.
Nada. Free. That's your favorite. Free is me.
Free is me.
And you love Saley and Clarence.
Saley and Clarence are not bad either.
All right, we've got more coming your way. Ed's going to try to find 3 NFL picks for this particular Sunday in the National Football League, and I have a sneaky suspicion he is not, and I do mean not, going to pick the Las Vegas Raiders. Stay tuned. You're watching Cova Sports TV.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there, because here you are One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk.
Usually it's Hatfield. That's why I try to tell everybody, get on Hatfield. He is the legal scribe, the talking head that knows all this, puts the whammies on. We do things different on this podcast. That's why we're rated number 3 in the state.
You got Play-Doh? Get out of here! We've got people all over the globe watching with us. Sitting in a phone booth with you would be very...
we got to have your own phone booth. I'm not sitting in no phone booth with you.
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, my skin is like you're making me uncomfortable. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey Alexa, is Matthew Hatfield smarter than Coach Ed Young?
From On3.com. It was a 6-game win for Hatfield over Young, both of whom got better than 84% of their projections right during the 2024 regular season.
I rest my case, Your Honor. I rest my case.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and that evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
Stewie got it right. You are evil. You're an evil doer, as George Bush once talked about the evil doers. Ruben Jimenez chiming in. Thoughts on A&M Florida tonight? You got any thoughts on this? By the way, Red River Rivalry, I said it on my Hats Hits IG Live special. Give me Texas, and by multiple scores, Arch Manning's going to get it done. It has saved the season time for them, much like it was for Florida in its game last week against Texas. So with that thought process, I think the Gators with DJ Lagway have righted the ship to an extent, but I got A&M winning it. I think the defensive line controlled the line of scrimmage, Ruben. Give me A&M to make Lagway run for his life a little bit more. And I know the Florida defense has been solid, but I think A&M will pull it out in sort of a funky type of lower scoring game. Total is 47.5. I think it'll be lower scoring, something like 21 to 17-ish. I think it'll be lower scoring, 24-20 maybe. I think the total is a little too high in that game.
Agree. A&M over Florida. Put back on Napier again after getting a little bit of it erased with the win over Texas. But, I think A&M does this. A&M is one of the teams a whole lot of people talking about, giving them props, but I think they're getting better and better every week, and they're already good. I would go with A&M in that one.
Oregon's the big one. Indiana Oregon's the big game today. Signetti, can Fernando Mendoza and that style travel to Autzen and win it against the Ducks and Dante Moore? I think that'll be a higher scoring game, and I like Oregon to get it done in that game. Big number to cover, but I like Oregon to flex its muscles a little bit. And might have to hang on for dear life. I see them getting up 2 scores, kind of being up 38-24. Indiana scores it late, try to get the ball back, but I ultimately see the Ducks winning it.
I agree. I think the quarterback that wins this, Mendoza or Moore for Oregon, jumps up higher in the Heisman spotlight. Mendoza needs it more than Moore. Right now, I think Moore is – a lot of people are looking at him as the front runner. But if Mendoza freshman –
I don't know. Ty Simpson of Alabama last week put on a show against Vandy. I think he's trending upward. He might be the guy now.
He is, but Speaking of that, that's my, I've done pretty good the last couple of weeks bringing a upset, if you can call it an upset. I think Missouri takes down Alabama today.
Oh, really? I don't know if I buy that. Now, they have the best running back in the SEC, and Drinkowitz is drinking the Kool-Aid. He's done a nice job there. They're sneaky, but I think Bama has corrected some things on defense. I think offensively they found a good rhythm. I like what they're doing there. Kellen DeBoer's group, I think the receivers can match up well with the Mizzou secondary. I like Bama to win that one on the road. It is a trap spot, or I shouldn't even say a trap spot. It is a tough spot, that's for sure.
And the one I feel even less confident about is Utah knocking off Arizona State.
Do you? Okay.
Yep.
All right. NFL picks time. You see the standings. It's not so pleasant. Last week, Bruce got the wins with Carolina, New England, and Jacksonville, all as dogs, all winning outright. The Panthers had to rally. Jacksonville had to rally. New England stuns Buffalo. I had the Bills. That was a loser outright. I had Seattle as a favorite. That was a loser outright. I won on over 41.5 Arizona, Tennessee. And if you watched that game, I wanted to eat my hat. It was 22-21 Titans. The Cardinals should have gone up 28-6. Some of the worst blunders you'll ever see in football. That doesn't deserve any more of our time because the Cardinals right now are just a disgrace that I don't even want to talk about them. You, sir, had Baltimore plus 1.5. They got rocked, thumped, demolished, destroyed. Yeah, they got taken behind the woodshed by Houston and C.J. Stroud. Dallas covered for you minus the 1.5 against the Jets. And the Giants plus the 1.5, a loser against the Saints. But the Giants were a winner on Thursday night in spanking the Eagles. So what does Bruce have on the docket for us today as we close out the program? He's taking 3 bow wows again. Woof, woof, woof. Why not? It worked for Bruce in week 5. It can work for him in week 6. And he's got Cleveland plus the 5.5 against Pittsburgh. New Orleans plus the 3.5 as a doggy. Woof, woof. Could win it outright if they don't cover the spread, Ed. And he's taking my Cardinals, Bruce. I don't know what you're doing, with or without Kyler Murray. I know Lord Malik Heru of Indian River likes him, but they play the Colts on the road. The Saints host the Patriots coming off that big win over New England. So I like his logic. Bruce's logic makes sense. Let down spot for the Pats. Take the Saints at home. Cardinals try to save their season on the road against the Colts, who have been playing over their heads a little bit, but I'm not sure about those. So we both stunk. 1 and 2, why don't you go first?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Go ahead.
You probably have 2 good ones, and that's why you want to reserve
I have
them.
no good ones.
I'll be honest with you. I don't feel like picking it all because I know it's another disaster. I want to go with against Bruce and 2 of those. I think New England and I think Pittsburgh, but I have no confidence in these picks. Definitely, let me tell people, do not listen to us in the picks, especially me, or you're going to go broke. I want so much to say Chargers over Dolphins, but I have a small feeling Dolphins are going to win that. I don't know why. They're horrible. Give me – this should be an easy one. Rams.
There's no easy ones, but go ahead.
Rams over the Ravens. So now I'm going to go against Baltimore.
I had watched the Ravens play their best game of the year. It's a lot of points to lay. You're laying 7, sir.
Watch what happens. Give me the Rams over the Ravens. Watch what happens.
All right, so I get the next 2. And I've talked myself out of one while we were sitting here because I was going to take Denver, who has screwed me time and time again against the Jets, but it's in London. They're coming off a big win. I have no idea what to expect and watch them not cover a big number. 7 now in pro football. His games are like 1-score games. So many points. The Dolphins intrigues me. I might take it. But for my first pick, just to screw with you, which I love doing, I'm going to take Las Vegas, the Raiders, laying 4.5 at home against the Titans. If they win this game by a field goal or less or lose, I'll be so mad at them. But Geno Smith, he knows he'll get benched soon. He's been terrible. With that in mind, I think they'll beat the Titans coming off that big win. I don't see Cam Ward winning 2 in a row on the road, and I don't see him covering in this spot. Titans are poorly coached. Give me the Raiders. Pete Carroll's a better coach. Pick number 1. Pick number 2, I'll go back to the well because why? I'm a glutton for punishment. Buffalo was so bad. When they play so bad, they're due for a bounce back. And they're on the road laying 4.5. Again, Tough number, but watch them go smoke the Falcons now, win by 2 or 3 scores. Or they'll have a big lead and blow that and only win by a field goal, and I'll be mad at them and vow to never pick them again and be off them completely from the Super Bowl. So I'll take the Bills, land 4.5 in Atlanta, sometimes known as Hotlanta, for choice number 2. Your last 2 before my final one, and we bid adieu on this particular Saturday, sir.
Give me, I think first time all year I'm doing this, give me the Commanders, minus 4.5 over the Bears.
Jaden Daniels made you a believer with that win over the Chargers where the defense shut them down for 3 straight quarters, and Daniels was the maestro.
Yeah, I'm going to lean towards them.
Now, you know what the number is. You're laying 4.5 on Monday Night Football against Wilbon's Bears.
Yes. And I'm going to go in the Charger-Dolphin game. I'm going over 43.5.
So you're going to take the total over 43.5. You got faith in Tua and the Herbert. They were drafted in the same draft to have themselves a good old shootout. Kitty Corral style, even minus Tyreek Hill, the cheetah, fastest guy on the planet. He so believes or says, but he won't be available for that one.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from picking winners, and I might start looking at over and unders.
Okay, good to hear. Good to hear. And my final pick, as we see Lynn's book's going to be out soon, we love to hear that. We love that, Lynn. We're going to talk to you about it when you have it ready for people to check out. And our man Jay Watford chiming in. We love Jay, young man from In Your Everything Special, reminded me of Ronald Curry. Woo! That's some high praise, Jay, for Lord Malik Heru. Lord, he didn't do it. He compared him to Curry. Hey, that's some high praise by Jay Watt.
If John does that, you can almost say it's not going crazy. John's seen a lot of athletes.
He's not a prisoner of the moment like a lot of people out there. But when Jay says that, that's
Yeah. I'm even more surprised Jonathan is watching us.
I know. What if on a Saturday?
Yeah.
He just wants to make sure you're on your best behavior because he wants to talk to the authorities.
John, let him know. Let him know best behavior is my 2 middle names. Let him know.
Yeah. He knows you way too well to know that's not the case. Final pick, because Ed has other things on the agenda today than to deal with us. Oh, I tell you what. I love Detroit KC. And here's what I love. And this is going to be, this is an Ed Young. Why would you pick that? That's a dumb pick, Matt. Dumb pick. Here it comes, folks.
Don't tell me you're picking Kansas City.
Oh, no. This is better than that because you criticized me a couple years ago when I did this with KC in Baltimore, and I'm doing it here. Highest over-under on the board is 52.5. And yes, there are playmakers galore. But I think there's pride defensively for a Sunday night game. It's 52.5. I'm going to go under the total of 52.5 Detroit KC. You say, why on earth? Because I think the Lions will run the ball more, number one, with Montgomery and Gibbs. And number two, the Chiefs at home, the defense with Spagnuolo, will dial something up. They'll have a recipe to keep this to under 9 scores. Under 8 scores when you count the touchdown and field goal. So I'm going to say we just squeezed under the 52.5. It might be a final, in fact, ladies and gents, of 28-24 to give me a win by half a point. So I'm going under 52.5 Lions, Chiefs, Bills minus 4.5, Raiders minus 4.5, Ed's got Rams minus 7, Commanders, also known as the Commies, minus 4.5, and over 43.5 with Dolphins, Chargers, and you see Bruce's picks on the screen, and that's going to do it for this episode. Hey, big one next week, Edward. Old Dominion, James Madison up in Harrisonburg. Maybe you and DJ Mike Hatfield can go make a trip. He'll wear the colors of the Dukes, and you'll wear the colors of God only knows.
Well, I wear the colors of Old Dominion.
Oh, you're really going to root for ODU? Okay, I didn't know that.
I think Old Dominion is going to get them.
Really? Well, more on that next week. I'm sure we'll bring somebody on, either Kurt Dudley or Ted Alexander or somebody to talk about that game next week a little more in depth. So that's going to do it. He's the coach. I'm Coach Hatfield, as Lynn told you. And we'll talk to you next time right here on 757 Sports Talk. What are you doing that for? Don't shake your head.
I blame Lindbergh for giving you the title coach. Now you're going to walk around all day like you're undefeated. And you can't even play the piano in the background. That's what the nation wants to do.
I'm going to go do that now, folks. We'll see you later. Have a great sports weekend.